personally, I feel that a lot more discourses should be allowed on issues revolving around women, talking about women's advocacy, women's rights protection, and so on and so forth. I understand that some people have, diverse perspectives and may feel that a lot has already been said about women. So why always make news? Why always make rounds about women's this or women's that? But I feel that women, deserve to be talked about. Women's rights, women's struggles, and women's experiences ought to be talked about as much as possible. There is no better time to be doing this video other than a time like this where we're talking about women globally. It's going to be International Women's Day on March 8th. And I'm excited about it. And I'm here saying happy International Women's Day to every woman out there who is, making themselves proud, doing something good for themselves, their families, and even the societies at large. I'd like to start by saying that I am not a feminist, but I'd like to be, regarded or tagged along the school of thought of womanism. I like to be called a womanist. There is a clear-cut difference between these two concepts, and I'll try to explain as much as I can. While feminism is a concept that deals with gender equality, right? Advocating for the rights of women as it relates with issues of patriarchy or gender-based discrimination or even sexism. Womanism, on the other hand, advocates for the experiences of women and what women go through on a daily, right? And that is why I like to talk about this as often as I can whenever given the platform or the opportunity. I like to share the experiences of women and their struggles as well, and how women can better understand themselves and become better versions and better contributors, to the stake of the society. Now, I want to use the recent, issues and saga that has been making rounds on the news and even on the internet. The issue concerning the distinguished Senator Natasha and the President of the House of Senate. Now, disclaimers, right? I'm not doing this video to, do a deep analysis of that issue. I'm just, going to use a fragment of it to elucidate my point, which is the fact that one of the clips I saw, I heard the words of distinguished Senator Natasha, where she was saying things like, you can't shut me down. You can't silence my voice. You can't, stop me from speaking. I must represent my people. I must do this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not afraid of you. Things like that. Now, I see her reaction as a bottled up, expression of one who probably is feeling subjugated, someone who is feeling, suppressed, especially in a scenario that is, male dominated. She has this eagerness or this urge to speak, to have a voice. And that brings me to the angle of saying that every woman is supposed to be allowed to have a voice, to speak where necessary. However, while having a voice, ensure that you're speaking, in the right direction, doing the right thing, full of wisdom, and saying what you should say in utmost humility whilst having your voice. Although firmly, but you should be able to, do that in the right way. Now, there are different dimensions to it. There are different scenarios as to the experiences and the issues and the struggles that women face on a daily basis. I'm going to start with the issue of assault. Well, I don't have a particular, statistics to this, but I know that a lot of women in their lifetime have been faced or will be faced with some form of assault or another at different stages. Okay, whether it's their preteens, whether it's in their teenage stage, young adulthood, and even adulthood. And I'm going to be, talking about this using my own personal experience growing up as a young teenager. I think I was barely 12 or 13. And I thank God for, growth. I thank God for maturity. I thank God for adulthood. I thank God for also a shift in generation. I thank God for forgiveness and for healing through the help of God. Now, in retrospect here, there was a situation where, and that was going to be my very first experience of, let's say, near assault or even actual assault, because if you ask me, I would say that there is no degree to measuring assault. Assault is assault regardless of the degree or regardless of how it is being done. So nobody should even come and play it down or say, oh, it was just a mere this, or it was just a mere that, or he just smacked her butt, or he only just touched her breast, or he only just kissed her. As far as there is no mutual agreement between the two, and as far as one has lured one into accepting, even when that they do not want to, it should still be tagged as assault and should be dismissed and discouraged in every sense of it. And so back to the story, right? So my mom came out from the market on this particular day. She had lots of, items that she bought, and we needed to help her convey those things from downstairs upstairs. We were living upstairs. So this particular uncle who was close to the family, we call him uncle because he was way, way older. Like I said, I was only barely 12 or 13. So I was taking some things up. He had taken some, helping my mom this time. And he was coming back down while I was, going up. We were just him and myself on that staircase at that time. Innocently, I didn't expect anything to go wrong. And suddenly, he squeezed one of my breasts. And I just was taken aback. I was really, really worried. I was afraid. I was confused. I didn't know what to think. This is someone I looked up to. Surprisingly, I couldn't talk to anybody, and that brings me to an angle of parenting, right? This video is not about parents, so I'm not just going to dwell so much on it. But as parents, and I thank God for generational shifts, right? Back then, a lot of us from that generation can attest to the fact that we couldn't openly tell our parents some things that were happening to us until when we became much older, right? And so I couldn't tell anybody. I remember a lot of times I would go to the mirror, I'll go to undress, look at myself in the mirror, and I always feel like that particular breast that he touched was, getting bigger, and I would just be afraid. There was so much that was going on in my head. And that experience never left me for the longest of time. If I can still talk about this decades later, then imagine what I went through back then. The worry, And there was another scenario where my parents were supposed to travel to the village for a burial, and they were supposed to be left alone. Like we, six siblings, were supposed to be left alone, And so they were worried about how we were going to, take care of ourselves and pass the night. So there was this particular uncle that we're just from the same hometown. We're not really related by blood or anything, but I know we're just from the same hometown. Surprisingly, I still see him even till days, So for every night he spent with us when our parents were away, he was always sneaking his hands through my skirts and trying to, play around and finger my genitals. Surprisingly, he was doing the same to my older sister, and we didn't get to talk about this until we were much older. I'll always shove his hand away. I'll always, push his hands away. But I knew that I was struggling with this every evening, every night, right? Ironically, this is someone that was supposed to be protecting us. This was someone that was supposed to be looking out for our safety, being the same person who was trying to assault us. He was doing it to me and my sister, who were girls, who were females, who were transitioning into being women. Now, this is a struggle. And that is why parents must be at alert. I am unapologetically suspicious when it comes to my kids, because I know that there is no one who is immune to things like this. The devil is always going around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour, right? Understand that no one is immune to temptation, and that is why I'm unapologetically suspicious, and I'll try to protect my kids as much as I can, because these are especially my daughters, because these are struggles, these are experiences that a lot of girls, a lot of young girls, a lot of young adults, a lot of teenagers, preteens, even full-blown adults go through on a daily basis. They struggle with this, and it is time that people begin to talk about this. We must not entertain underplay of assault, no matter the degree. As far as it is your body, it is your right. You should protect it with everything you've got, and nobody should make you feel it's only a mere this. Oh, it is not sex. I didn't, forcefully penetrate through her. I only smacked her butt, or I only touched her breast, or I only kissed her. As far as there was no accent, and as far as you're doing that to a minor or someone who doesn't have a voice at that time, then it is assault and must be discouraged. How about talking about womanism from the perspective of the society's definitions of virtue? I hope you understand, like, how society define a woman by her virtue. A lot of times, women who are quieter, women who are more reserved based on their temperaments are regarded as the virtuous ones, right? Women who stand up for themselves, who speak out, especially for the truth, and stand up for what they believe is the truth, and would not entertain any form of subjugation, are seen as bad wives, bad role models, bad mothers. So now this is how society have, termed and defined virtue. And a lot of times, A lot of women struggle with this. It's a reality, it's a struggle that women face. And when they are being seen as not virtuous because they have spoken out, then the society would not be a better place after all. So this is an advocate. This is me lending my voice to every woman out there. Speak up for the truth. Let your daughters begin to learn the art of also speaking up for the truth, regardless of where they find themselves. How about the dimension of beauty? A lot of times, many women have seen themselves as being ugly. Who am I to determine how I look when I did not play any role? You did not play any role. No woman, even no man on earth played any role in deciding how they would look or how they look. God did the job all by himself. Now, this brings me to also a personal story. I've lived with keloids for the longest time. I've lived with keloids. I have one here and I have another one here. It all started like normal pimple back then. I used to have lots of pimples on my face as a teenager growing up. And now, teenagers will always do everything to take away any blemish or any spots from their faces away. I've used different products, tons of products, even as an adult. It's just recently that I came out of this. We call it a trauma now. It's just very recently that I came out of this and I began to see myself beyond my physical look. Okay, so women must begin to know that it is not your body that defines your real beauty. It is not your physical appearance that defines your real beauty. It is the spirit that you carry in you. It is what you believe. It is the truth that you believe. It is what you accept that defines your true beauty. So it is beyond the blemishes on your skin. It is who you carry and what you carry from the inside. All right. So never allow anyone make you feel ugly or make you feel like you are not woman enough or you are not good enough because you are built in a particular way. Did your Bible not say that you are made in the image and the likeness of God? That's if you're a Christian. I don't know if the Quran says that, but my Bible says I am made in the image and in the likeness of God. So however I am, even with the keloids I have on my skin, I am still made in God's image and in his likeness. And I am happy just the way I am. So your beauty should not be defined by another person. This is a struggle that a lot of women face. Now, this is not me, judging anyone who probably has done something to enhance their bodies, or it is their personal decisions or their personal choices, and it is born from something must have propelled them to take some certain decisions to decide to work on their bodies. But that decision must not be born from a place of trying to please someone or trying to make someone see you differently. That is the point I'm trying to make. That is the distinction here. If I want to enhance my body because I just feel like doing so, or just for personal gratification, or I want to look different, so be it. But not because I feel that, this man, probably my husband or my boyfriend or my fiancé, wants me to have big ass, and so I have to go and enhance my body to have big ass for him. Now, I tell you the truth. Even if you have twice as much asses as he would want, that won't keep him. Even if you have all the features that he will always long for, that still will not keep the man. A man will be kept by whom he wants to be kept by. I don't know if that makes sense. So the truth is, nobody should make you feel like you are not good enough, or you are ugly, or you are not woman enough. Sometimes you hear people say, that's talking about issues of childbearing, right? Oh, she gave birth through CS. Oh, she did not give birth normally. She did not give birth like normal women will do. Come on. I've never heard anything as deep and as derogatory as a woman who has brought forth another human and is being judged by how she brought that human into the world. Come on. That is the height of inhumanity, if you ask me. And these are the struggles that a lot of women face. So a woman cannot go through 9 months of, pregnancy. I wish men really go through pregnancies. Pregnancy is a big deal. It's actually a life-death situation, if you ask me. Why would a woman be judged because she did not have a vaginal birth? For crying out loud. So these are issues, struggles, experiences, sad experiences that women go through because of the fact that they are women. And this should be highly discouraged. How about the issue of women supporting women? Have you heard that phrase before? Women supporting women. That is one of the very beautiful nonsense that exists in our time today. You hear women supporting women. However, some women are responsible for the pain, the humiliation, the struggles that their fellow women go through on a daily basis. And it is unbelievable. You see this in different areas, whether it is in politics, whether it is in business, whether it is in career. You see other women actually being stumbling blocks, actually being a pain in the asses of their fellow women. So this is me lending my voice on a time like this, where we are advocating for the experiences and the struggles that women go through on a daily basis, and we are calling that people should be more humane. People should be more empathetic to the struggles of women. People should see women as the vessel that God created. The world will not be a beautiful place without women in it. That is a fact. That is the truth. Imagine the world with only men and animals. Imagine how it will be. So women play a very huge role. The Bible says that He created them male and female. He created them both. So we are special. We are special vessels. We are unique beings and should be treated as such. On no occasion should a woman be subjugated. Should a woman be shut down. Should a woman be trampled upon either by a man or by her fellow woman on any account. No, women should be respected. Women should be treated in high dignity. Women should be loved. Women should be cared for. And if you are watching this as a woman and you have bitterness, hatred, wickedness, and you're responsible for the weeping and the tears of another woman, the humiliation that another woman is going through, please repent. And I pray that God puts His Spirit in you, pours out His Spirit in you, makes you, turn your heart of stone into flesh, that you will begin to understand your role, your true role in society, the magic that you can play, and the difference that you can make as a woman. So happy International Women's Day to every woman out there. I wish you all the very best. I love you all, and I'm rooting for you from here. I know that you're doing your bit. Please do not stop. Keep doing the best and the most that you're doing, as much as you know that what you are doing is the truth. Stand for the truth, and the truth will always pay off. Bye for now. I love you.